shaking? What's doing? It is episode 346 of McRae Live. The date today is Wednesday, July the 23rd, 2025, 7:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the Voice Man Studios in Toronto, Canada. Do it again! Halloween 6 celebrates 30 years this year. I still have my movie ticket. I still have the newspaper cutout. I was so excited. And I still have my VHS of that movie. Why I haven't burned it yet, I don't know. It's going to be a good show. I want to hear your memories. The theatrical cut. The producer's cut. What was the first one you watched? Probably the theatrical one. Let me know. Let me know. Fucking do it one more time. Your memories of Halloween 6, I want to know tonight on the show. Should be a good one. It doesn't matter if it's the producer's cut or the theatrical cut. They're both kind of, we'll talk about it. Woo! What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 346. 346 of McRae Live. Hope you're all having a great Wednesday. And you guys are doing well. It's hard to believe. 30 years this year. Halloween 6 celebrates 30 years. We've done shows celebrating Friday the 13th, Part 5. We've done shows celebrating A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2. And those are 40 years. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, came out in late September of 1995. I was 16 years old. It was the first Halloween movie I ever saw in the movie theater. I was so excited for it because I was finally going to know what happened to who is the man in black. I mean, folks, if you weren't around then, if you were, you know, and you'll be able to empathize, maybe even sympathize. But if you were too young, if you were like just I don't know, if you were still shitting your diapers or maybe you weren't even born yet, that 6-year gap for us Halloween fans was torturous. It was like, who's the man in black? I mean, even in 1989, I was 10 years old. Even in 1989, in 1990, when I saw the movie, because I didn't see the movie in the theater, I saw the movie on VHS in 1990. I would have been 11. I was like, what the hell is this shit? What is this shit? What is this? I don't, what, it's just, I don't, uncle, what's going on? Can I say, what's going on? I didn't know what's going on. And I was upset. I was like, I don't know who is this man in black? It was one of the greatest mysteries. And it turned out, of course, to be Dr. Wynn, the guy that looks like he's a 70s porn star in the original 1978 film. For Christ's sake, Sam, Haddonfield's 150 miles away from here. He can't drive a car. No, wait, is it? He can't drive a car? Anyways, he can't drive a car. Well, he was doing very well last night. Maybe somebody around here will give him lessons. That guy? That's the mastermind behind it all? Mr. Wannabe Tom Selleck? I was like, what? What's going on? But I was excited. Everybody was excited. I remember watching the entertainment. I remember being at Bruce's house. Yeah, that's right. That's how long I've known that guy. Being at Bruce's house in I think it was, maybe it was the spring or the summer of 1995. And we were sitting in his living room and we were watching an Entertainment Tonight, an episode of Entertainment Tonight. And they were on the set of Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, or Halloween 666, Origin, whatever the hell. They had a few names. And it was exciting. They were interviewing Dr. Loomis. This is before he died. And, of course, he died in February of 95, I believe. So this must have been, maybe it was around then. Maybe it was like maybe it was around then. Anyway, I remember him being in the footage, I think. But I was like, Bruce, we're finally going to know. He was like, all right, yeah. I mean, I was way more excited than Bruce was because obviously I am a gigantic Halloween fan. Bruce likes it enough, but I was the one that sort of, introduced him to Halloween. He doesn't really like any of the sequels other than, the first couple, I guess. Oh, well, he didn't mind the new trilogy. It was fine. But I was like, yeah, Halloween 6, baby. It was like my brother in 1988. I have a distinct memory of my older brother, Neil, who's the one that got me into Halloween when there were only 2 Michael Myers movies. I remember in 1988, he, for his 18th birthday, because my brother Neil's birthday is the 29th of October. So for his 18th birthday, his friend Roy, I don't think they're friends anymore, but I'm not that there's anything, but I think they just, grown apart over the years. But at the time, his friend Roy was taking him to see Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers in the movie theater. And I distinctly remember my brother Neil, I don't know if it was his actual birthday or if it was in and around there. I remember him being in the kitchen of our home, and I'm 9 years old, and I'm there, and I'm excited too. I'm like, yeah, and I remember him going, yeah, I'm gonna go see Halloween 4, the Return of Michael Myers. Ah! I just remember him being like having like a fist like that. He was like, yeah, he was all excited, man, and I was excited for him because I was like, yeah, oh, you're so lucky, man, you're so lucky. I was like, yeah, you gotta tell me all about it when you come home. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking yeah. I was all like, yeah, and I wasn't even going, but I was all excited too. That's how I felt in 1995. Now, of course, it's rated R. You have to be 18 to, get in, theoretically. When did that? But see, at 16 years old, I was 16. I looked, I looked 25, and I sounded like I do now. You know what I mean? So it was always very easy for me to get into bars and strip clubs and, and when I'm like 17, 18, it was very easy because I was like, yeah. Because if you have confidence, right? Confidence. Hey, what's going on? Yeah. Hey, what's going on? They're like, oh, yeah, okay, you can just go ahead. Go ahead. Bruce, on the other hand, was a year younger than me. He was 15, looked 14, sounded 12. So he couldn't get in. We went, we wanted to go see Halloween 6. We're all excited. This is going to be the Man in Black. Folks, Tell me your memories of Halloween 6. I want to know whether it's a member chat, a super chat, whatever, a highlight. Let me know. I want to know what they are because I want to read them out after. Your memories of first seeing Halloween 6. And so I was all excited. It's 1995. We decided to take the bus over to Westgate Cinemas in Ottawa. Westgate Cinemas is not there anymore. It hasn't been there in 25 years. It was a rinky-dinky theater in a mall, those mall theaters. This is before, like, the big Coliseum, stadium-style seating, like, epic theaters that we know today, right? Of course, we don't think of them as epic anymore. They're just kind of normal. But back in the, late 90s, when they started to really heat up, it was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? But this was like typical, old school theaters, And, but I was all excited, man. I was all excited. He's like, you sure we're going to get? I was like, dude, we're going to get in. And so we walk up to the box office. I'm like, yeah, I'll have, I think I was paying for myself and Bruce was paying. Or maybe I was paying for, I can't remember. Anyways, I just like, yeah, I'll have a ticket for Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. I had the, and and the girl was like, okay, no problem. There you go. And I'm like, that's amazing. And what is that ticket? I still have it. Now remember, this is a mall theater. So this is not like, and nobody's really buying physical tickets. I mean, people still do. I have a tin, by the way. I should have brought it out here. I have a tin full of probably 400 or 500, not one word of a lie, of movie stubs from the 90s and the 2000s. Now we all tend to buy our tickets online and we go up to the box office like, bleep, thanks. We don't have anything physical anymore. Anyways, so this doesn't look, cool. It's not really branded. It's kind of like a carnival ticket, because it was a mall movie theater. So they didn't really have a, but this is it here. You're probably not gonna be able to really read it, but it says, Cinema 3, which was their smallest one. Got to put the horror movie in the smallest one. Hallow 6, Westgate Cinemas, September 30th, 1995. It was actually more expensive than I thought it was going to be. One adult, $8. $8. Some people said $8 in 1995. Yeah, but that was like a regular night. You know what I mean? That was like now a regular ticket is what, like $16? You know what I mean? So it's doubled in, 30 years. But anyway, Of course, this is Canada as well, so keep that in mind. But we had Cheap Tuesdays as well. Cheap Tuesdays was like half price, like $4. And then there were some theaters that did Toonie Tuesdays. For those of you that don't know, the $2 coin here in Canada, as of 1996, though. This was after 1996, because up until 1996, we had a $2 bill. But after 1996, we had coins, $2 coins. We called them toonies, sort of a kind of to piggyback off of what we call our $1 coin, which is the loonie, because it has a loon on it. And anyways, it's a whole thing. But we did have Toonie Tuesdays when the toonie came out. But anyway, this is the ticket right there. That's the ticket. That's the ticket. And look at this. It's ripped. It's ripped because the guy I gave it to is like, yeah, thank you, and gave it back to me, right? There it is. There it is. That's it, folks. And that is the first movie stub I ever collected. Not the first movie stub I ever, it's not the first movie I ever went to. But in terms of like deciding to collect movie stubs, this is the first one. This is the first one. Halloween 6, September the 30th, 1995. That's it. Right there. I know it's kind of hard to see there. I wonder if I can actually, hang on a sec. Let me see if I can, because the autofocus is off, because I like to turn it off when I'm on camera, because otherwise it's bouncing in and out of focus, and I absolutely hate it. Let me just turn the autofocus back on and see if I can, hang on a sec here. Okay, do this, and, oh, wait. There we go. There we go. Look at that. There it is, folks. 9:15 p.m., one adult, Cinema 3. Hang on, let me hold up like this. There we go. Oh, wait. Oh, hang on a sec. Let me get the autofocus in there. Oh, hang on. Why? I'm losing it. I had it. Anyways, you guys get it. Where'd it go? There we go. Oh, that's a good shot. That's a good shot right there. Cinema 3, Hallow 6, Westgate Cinema, September 30th, 1995. 9:15 p.m., one adult, $8. There it is, folks. That's it. That is it. Amazing. And while I have the autofocus on, this is the original. I was all excited. The original, this is from Thursday, September 28th, 1995. So this is a couple of days before. It's from the Ottawa Sun. That's the newspaper my father worked for. This is a clipping from the back of the newspaper, or the entertainment section, I should say, where all the movie. Do you remember those? Nowadays, kids today, what? What are you talking about? This is sometimes how you'd figure out what movie you were going to go see. But I decided to keep it. Oh, yeah, baby. Let me get the autofocus going. Oh, wait. There we go. The only thing more terrifying than how it started is how it ends. Now, the secret of his madness will be revealed in the final and most frightening Halloween of all. Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers. I was so excited, I clipped it out of the newspaper. I'm like, yeah, baby. I'm like, all right, we are rocking. And, yeah, great stuff. Starts tomorrow. Ooh, look at that. It says, starts tomorrow. It's not really working. There it is. Starts tomorrow. Cool stuff. And then, of course, I bought it on VHS when it came out. And my VHS tapes are in immaculate condition. You would literally think I picked this up yesterday. But this tape is probably it's at least 25 years old. I might not have bought it. Well, no, I don't think I bought Halloween, the Curse of Michael Myers on VHS like the following year because I didn't like the movie. I was extremely disappointed. I was like, what the hell is this shit? But of course, eventually I bought it to, complete the collection. So this is probably 25 years old, but there it is. My Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers VHS in great shape, still in great shape, still looks fantastic. There we go. True terror never dies. Oh, really? For pulse-pounding suspense and relentless thrills, nothing can match Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, the newest and most frightening chapter in the chilling Halloween series. In a single night. Hang on a sec. I'm going out of focus again. Let me see if I get this closer and get more focus. There we go. In a single horrifying night, Michael Myers' masked reign of terror changed Halloween forever. Now, 6 years after he was presumed dead in a fire, Myers has returned to kill again. And this time, there's no escape. As the homicidal... Oh, hang on a sec here. I'm running out of sub. As the homicidal fury builds to a spine-tingling climax... I don't know about that. The long hidden secrets of the screen's most maniacal murderer are revealed. With shocking results. Well, I'd say that. Shocking results. Piece of shit results is more like it. Oh, wait a sec. There we go. So, yeah. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, Bruce couldn't get in, so he went to go see 7. Bruce was lucky enough to see a modern classic in the movie theater. Yeah, I know. They let him in to see 7. 7 was arguably a little more, intense than Halloween 6. But nonetheless, he saw 7. Halloween 6 finished early. I sat out in the lobby waiting for him to come out. He came out and said, dude, 7. Oh, my God. I'm like, he's like, how was Halloween? I'm like, shit. I was like, it wasn't very good, man. It was like some cult, a thorn, and little fucking, all was going on. Jamie, and it wasn't even Danielle Harris, a baby, and Michael impregnators. I don't know what's going on. I was fucking. Anyways, actually, that might not have been in the. Was that in the theatrical? Was that just produced? Anyway, nonetheless, I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't a big fan. I was extremely disappointed. I thought the ending was lackluster, and it was extremely disappointed. And then years later, I kept hearing, because back then, the internet was in its infancy, and so there wasn't a lot going on, and I kept hearing these rumors of this. No, there's a producer's cut. There's a producer's cut, and I remember seeing clips of like a bootleg. It was like awful quality and sound. I was like, it was just awful. And eventually they officially released it as part of the Blu-ray box set, I think in 2013 or something like that, or 2014, or 2012, somewhere around there. And I finally had a chance to sit down and watch it officially. Is it better? Well, it's better in the sense that it's not like there are things about the producer's cut that I do like better. But at the end of the day, it's still the same movie. It's still the same story. The trajectory is still the same. It's not a significantly different movie. It's not like when you watch Halloween, the theatrical cut, and then you watch the producer's cut, it's like a 180 and you're like, oh my God, this is so much better. I think it's marginally better. I like the music here. Oh, I like the fact that they played a little more theater of the mind than the fact that, we see, just things like that. Right. But overall it's the same. And, like in the producer's cut, this is the producer's cut. Yeah. It's a producer's cut. You get Michael walking off into the ether, fucking in a trench coat and fedora. Like, what are we doing? Like, he's Loomis sees the tattoo. And it's like, what? What's going on? And it's Dr. Wynn, and he gets up and he looks over and he's like, huh. And then we just get this shot of Michael in a trench coat and a fedora, like it's 1952, walking off down some alleyway like he's Batman or, Dick Tracy or something, like he's in some sort of 1950s film noir mob film. And I'm just like, and he turns his head. I don't know if it's George P. or not, but he turns his head and he keeps on walking. I'm just like, come on, man. Come on. Wasn't a fan. I was not a fan. And so, as much as we can rib on these movies, they have places in the Halloween lore, in the Halloween pantheon of the Halloween universe. But I will always, have a little soft spot for 6, not because I like the movie, but because it was the first movie, the very first Halloween movie I ever saw in the movie theater. So I have a little bit of a soft spot for it in that context. Like I always like, oh, Halloween 6, oh yeah, that kind of thing. Not in terms of me liking the movie. I'm just, there's always a story that encompasses Halloween 6. I got in, Bruce didn't. He went and saw 7. I went and saw Halloween 6. He saw the better movie. There's always this kind of thing, right? I was so excited. I was like my brother in 1988. Halloween 6, the curse of Michael Myers. And then I watch it and I'm like, yeah, like, God, man. And then of course, 3 years later, Halloween H2O comes out. We didn't fare much better, but but yeah, look, folks, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, the theatrical cut, the producer's cut. Let me know your thoughts on did you get a chance to see it in the movie theater like I did? Was it your first Halloween movie in the movie theater? Maybe it wasn't, but maybe you saw it in the theater. Tell me about your experiences with Halloween 6. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers is 30 years old this year. That is unbelievable. And I still have, like I said, my little movie ticket here. There it is, my little movie ticket to see Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. And and then I went back to see it again. I actually saw it twice. Because I thought, I want to watch it again. Maybe I'll like it better. No. But I went back and watched it with my dad. I took my dad, or my dad probably took me, let's be honest. He probably paid. But I was like, Dad, you want to go see Halloween? Because I wanted to share that experience with him. It really, and I mean this, I actually mean this. It really was less about seeing Halloween and more about sharing Halloween with my father, very much in the same ways that 8 or 9 months prior when I was in the hospital, for those of you that don't know, I got chickenpox late in life. So when I say late, I mean like 15 years old. That's late. And anyways, I had this I've talked about this before, but I had this seizure and I developed encephalitis from it, which is very, very serious. And I was in the hospital. I was in a medically induced coma for 2 days. Oh yeah, it was really, really serious. Anyway, long story short, I recovered, thank goodness, but I spent 12 days in the hospital, and my dad, my mom, to help cheer me up, bought me Halloween 2 on VHS. Oh yeah, like the original with the pumpkin on it, just Halloween 2, not the, rebranded VHSs they had laters with the, the thing and the, no, like the original, and I was all excited, and my dad had never seen the movie. And my dad and I watched Halloween 2, and I was in isolation too because of what I had. I was in the ICU and I was in isolation. Like I had like my own room. It was like my own hotel room. You know what I mean? And so I was like down this hall in like my own room. And so like, it's not like I was in a room with other people and there's just a curtain. You know what I mean? No, I was in my own room. And so, which is cool. And so they wheeled a TV in, and a VCR and a 21-inch TV. And I was like, Dad, you want to watch Halloween 2? And he's like, all right. So, and it was the winter. It was January. So the sun would have set at 4:30 in the afternoon. So it got dark quite early. So we probably watched the movie around 7 or something like that. But my dad and I watched Halloween 2, which basically all takes place in a hospital. And it's like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I'm in like an isolated part of the hospital. It was like the Halloween 2 hospital. When you opened the door and you walked down the little hall and then you went to it was like dimly lit light. Like there was like a nurse at the nurse's station, a reception, but that was kind of it. It was really creepy. My dad loved it. My dad loved the movie, but I think my dad's very much like me, mood, atmosphere, because he was a storyteller, right? He was a writer, a journalist, a reporter, a columnist. And so he loved all that. And so he really loved the movie, but I think he also really loved watching it in the hospital. Anyways, I digress. So I was like, Dad, you want, fast forward 10 months later, 8 months later, I'm like, Dad, you want to go see Halloween 6? And he's like, all right. So I had to explain to him, okay, this is not part, this is not part 3. And I had to explain it all to him. And my dad didn't like it nearly as much as he liked Halloween 2. I think it's because it's not as good as Halloween 2, but also because, we're in, what better way to watch Halloween 2 than watch it, in a hospital. So that was always kind of fun. But my dad didn't really like it. But it's a memory that I'll always remember, right? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, let me know your thoughts, folks, on Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. I think there was just one super chat that came in, or maybe two. No, there was two that came in. We got Movie Chat and More says, not dead, just very much retired. That's right. That's right. Moonstone Emma, what's going on? Emma, my fellow Canuck, says, I loathe how Michael runs in this one. Not only is it incongruent with Michael's MO and character, it just looks goofy and pathetic, not even menacing. Does he run, though? I guess he kind of... Yeah, you're right. He does kind of run a little bit, like not quite Ted White in Friday the 13th Part 4 running, but he runs. There's a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit of kind of like speed walking almost, like almost trotting, especially when he's in that long hallway at the wherever they are, at the end. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I will say I don't like George P. Wilbur's performance in this movie. I don't like the position of his hands. They're kind of like this as he walks, and I don't like that at all. I don't like it. I do like the scene when he falls down the stairs and he's kind of at the bottom of the stairs, and it's Kara, I think, right? And Danny, kill for me. I like when they have to step over him and they're it's actually quite a suspenseful moment. And then he grabs her ankle and all that. That's kind of cool. But overall, yeah, I'm not a fan of the movie. Like most Halloween movies, even the bad ones, even Halloween Resurrection, you can find redeeming qualities. That's a cool shot. That's a cool moment. I like that, that scene, you know what I mean? But overall, it just wasn't, it was like, oh, so that's what it is? Like, I was like, and my brother Neil didn't like it either. He eventually saw it too, and he's like, nah. No, my brother Neil is very much a purist as well. He very much likes I'd say that like the first two, right? I think most purists, even if you're a purist like me, and you will defend the original intent of the character, which of course is the first movie and the first movie only, and we can talk about all the reasons why that is. That's a whole. Yeah, I have lots of videos on my channel where I talk about that. We also can loosen up a little bit and include Halloween 2, because I think Halloween 2 is still the best sequel in the franchise, and how it connects to the original. It was only made 3 years later, so the production value and the film stock, it looks very much like it could be the same night. It's not like as much as they did a great job with the Halloween Kills flashback, it's modern technology, it's digital cameras, it's modern production value. You don't necessarily feel like it's literally the same night because you're watching a take on that night 40 years later. But when you watch Halloween 2 from 1981, yes, they had a bigger budget, and there's some things that are a little, more polished, we'll say, because it was like $2 million or $2.5 million as opposed to $320,000. But again, there's not much of a difference between film stock, production value, the way movies looked in 1978 and in 1981, and especially low budget horror movies. So there's a connectivity. There's the connective tissue to the way things look and feel and sound and all that feels like it is the same night, for all intents and purposes. And yeah, I still think the Mr. Garrett scene in the middle is exceptionally boring, and it needed music, and it took way too long. But other than that, I think Halloween 2's great. Again, in relation to, it is not following the original intent and the trajectory, but I think it's great in the sense that it doesn't it honors a little bit of what came before, carves its own path, and ends. It actually ends, which is great. You know what I mean? And I think that's great. I've always said that endings matter. There's nothing wrong with movies ending. If your story doesn't end, you don't have a story. A story that never ends is not a story. It's just a sequence of events, right? a story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And there's nothing more frustrating than continuing a franchise on and on and on and never ending it. And then it ends not by way of great writing and storytelling. It ends because they ran out of ideas, it did poorly at the box office, and it just fizzles out. So more often than not, things are left on cliffhangers, unresolved plot points, unresolved character arcs, unresolved storylines, and you just kind of go, and that's it. Hollywood just stops making them because nobody's going to see them. So the story never really ended. And then it's left up to the fans to go, well, in my head canon, it ends. And it's like, yeah. But that's, yes, and we all do that, but we shouldn't have to do that. There's nothing wrong with stories ending. A story that doesn't end is not a story. You know what I mean? What's the story if it never ends? Well, and then. That's all it is. And then. Yeah, but when does it end? Oh, it doesn't. And then. Well, what's the story then? Well, it's and then. It's like, well, yeah, but we need to bring this, money. Amazing. Antonis Andriotis, hey Dave, how you doing? Doing all right. Frank, what's going on, man? Frankly speaking, Riker in the chat. What's everybody saying? Did I miss any super chats? I don't think I did. Oh, wait. Emma, going hard into the paint, says, yeah, at one point he kind of jogs hella lame. Yeah, he's got a bit of a little kind of like a speed walk, like a trot to him. I get what you're saying. Yep, 100%. Dude says, I saw Halloween 6 in the cinema and only maybe 7 other people were in the audience. I mildly enjoyed the film, but thought that the Jamie replacement was unfortunate and that the finale was so-so. Tony Michael, my co-host of Two Dudes, he had no idea. He was obviously, because we're around the same age, he liked Danielle Harris, Jamie Lloyd. And when he went to the theater, he was so angry. I forget if that's the movie he walked out on. Tony would have to let me know. If Tony ever sees this, he can comment and let me know. But, or maybe it was Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Might have been Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 he walked out on. But I think he took a date to see Halloween 6 and he was so upset and he had no idea that Danielle Harris was not in it. So, yeah. Pretty shitty. Bobby Hall says, I wish Halloween 2 didn't introduce the sibling twist. It could have just had Myers going after Laurie to finish the job. It didn't need to be explained. No, that's true. I've had debates with Halloween 2 fans, and I'm a Halloween 2 fan, but you are absolutely 100% correct. The only 2 things that you would have had to have done, maybe there's some other minor massaging you may have to do, but the dream sequence that Laurie has when she dreams of her mother saying, I'm not your mother, like that whole thing, right? Which helps to plant the seed of, oh, there's something going on here. It's her subconscious kind of, coming to her conscious mind in terms of a dream, her suppressed memories. All you have to do is remove that dream sequence or keep the dream sequence, but change the dream. Change it to just a flashback of her in the closet being attacked by Michael, because it's properly motivated, it's justified. It would make sense for her to have that dream because it literally just happened. So she's having a nightmare, right? And she's tossing and turning and you see, clips of him trying to reach for her and maybe you shoot something else, like an angle we haven't seen it from yet or something. That might be kind of cool, right? But just that kind of thing. And maybe you see flashes of her friend, Annie smiling, something like she's having a nightmare of the event that literally happened 5 hours earlier. Do you know what I mean? So that's what and it makes total sense. None of us would bat an eye. None of us would be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. No, none of us would bat an eye. We'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. And then the other thing, of course, is at the end of the movie when Marion Chambers is doing her spiel about, that Strode girl, that's Michael Myers' sister. Like you just change it to something else. You have to figure out a way to bring it together and a way that would make Loomis, convince the marshal to turn around and go back to the hospital. Like you'd have to figure, but that's not hard to do. You can figure that out. You change those 2 things and everything else can stay the same. Literally. Everything else can stay the same. Literally. And and even Laurie saying, Michael, and him stopping before she, shoots him in the eyes. Well, yeah, she knows his name is Michael, right? I mean, she knows. You mean that little boy that killed his sister? But why me? Why me? You don't have to answer that. You don't have to follow through on that. You just leave that for the audience to pontificate. Maybe why her? Why her? Why her in the first movie, right? You don't it's a question that's rhetorical. You don't need to answer it. And so I agree. Yeah, no, you could absolutely leave my and then alone, Dave. These are stories just like our grandmothers watched their soaps. Well, look, I mean, it depends on how, we can play the semantics argument, right? Yes, technically they are still stories, but a story that never ends isn't really a story, and so soap operas, that's why they're soaps. They're soap operas. Now you can have storylines within, that's the thing. With soap operas though, they have storylines, and the soap opera, the bigger picture, the lives might continue, but storylines within the soap opera will probably come to an end, right? You know what I mean? Like Janet and Gary and their that whole storyline, the Janet and Gary storyline on Days of Our Lives or something, that might run for 2 years. And then that storyline might resolve itself. So we see their lives continue, but you see many stories within the soap operas probably run their courses, right? And so that's a bit of a difference there. Whereas, with these slasher movies, they just go on and 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 on. But nonetheless, but yeah, no, you changed those two things, and you could have done that. You could have just kept it, And then, but why is he going after her at the hospital? Well, because she's the one that got away. I don't know. You're not supposed to know that. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know that. Steve Evans, $1.99. Thank you, Steve. Says, why do you think Carpenter trashes Halloween 2? I think he trashes Halloween 2 because I think it is inferior to the original film and the original intent of the whole thing. You have to understand that, Irwin Yablans came to John Carpenter and said, I want to make an old school horror movie. Even in 78, he said that. And he was talking about something that was more Hitchcockian. And so there was an identity around the original Halloween. The original Halloween wasn't created willy-nilly, off the cuff, rushed or anything like that. There was a very strategic intent to the kind of horror movie that they were creating, because Irwin Yablans, and I've talked to Mickey about this, I've talked to Irwin about this, and he said that I wanted to make a horror movie because they're all the rage, but something that's more theater of the mind. Now Irwin Yablans didn't create the term theater of the mind, but I started using it more often when I heard him say it to me. I was like, oh, yes. I had heard the term before, but I was like, that's a great way to explain that, right? It goes back to the old school radio play days and, The Shadow. And, when people didn't have televisions, they just used to imagine things in their minds, right? Theater of the mind. And so, and he wanted to create a horror movie that was very much kind of like that, not blood, guts, and gore and all that kind of stuff. And so he, long story short, he spoke to John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, and they came on, and yes, we'll write it together and blah, blah, blah. I'll do it, but I'll do it for this. I'm gonna have my name above the title and all that kind of stuff that we know. And, but the kind of movie it isn't, I've heard some people out there say that it's because of the limitations of its budget. I'm like, no, I don't think that's, I think that's too, look, $320,000. Yes, it was a very low budget film, but the movie, the way it plays out, the theater of the mind, the no gore, the no excessive violence, that's intentional. That's on purpose. It's like how some people thought with the Justine kill in It's Me, Billy, Chapter 1, because it wasn't gratuitous or, seeing things and blood and gore and things like that. There are some people that said, oh, I guess they didn't have, enough, in the budget to show that. And it's like, no. We could have shown that. We didn't, because that's not the kind of horror movie it is. It's more psychological, more theater of the mind. We want to show you the knife coming up and coming down and seeing the back of Billy and his shadow on the wall. And it's more classy. It's more old school. It's more Black Christmas, right? And so Halloween was very much playing in that Hitchcock. It's more Hitchcock. It's more that kind of thing. And so John Carpenter is very proud of that. He's very proud of the movie and what it accomplished and what it did for him and his career and the intention of that. And when Halloween 2 came along, when they said, we want you to write Halloween 2, he was forced into it. He's contractually obligated into it. But he's like, he's famously said, but there's no more to tell. Like, that is the story, because some people forget that, and I've said this before, but it bears repeating because we're talking about it, that Halloween, the original Halloween, ends on a cliffhanger, not to set up a sequel. It's to bring the message of the movie home. It actually has a 3-act, it completes the arc. Laurie has an arc. Laurie doesn't believe in the boogeyman. Laurie, what's the boogeyman? Tell me there's no such thing. She doesn't believe in the boogeyman. And then by the end of the movie, it was the boogeyman. As a matter of fact, it was. And so she has this arc. And then, of course, you can't kill the boogeyman. And then when Loomis looks over and sees that he's gone, that just reinforces that. It's just a 90-minute Hitchcockian Twilight Zone ghost story, if you want to think about it like that. Like, it's just kind of like it's a cool little, kind of self-contained thing. It wasn't meant to spawn a franchise, sequels, all that kind of stuff, but it became the highest grossing independent horror movie in motion picture history. Not right away. It wasn't until the Village Voice article that really sort of set things off, I believe, and that wasn't until 79, I think. But, it did okay, at first, but it wasn't like immediately out of the gate this phenom. It was very slow, as a lot of independent films back then played in individual cities and then, spread out and, all that kind of stuff. It's not like it was, released nationwide. That didn't happen. So word of mouth spread, and it spread slowly. It was insidious. And so it's just the whole structure and the whole dynamic and the whole intention of that original Halloween film, where there is no motive and there, all that kind of stuff. And we don't know why he's doing what he's doing. And then you get to Halloween 2, and, you could arguably say that in comparison to the later films, he's still mysterious and, and there's still a mystique about him in Halloween 2, 1981. That's true. But at that time in 1981, compared to the original, oh my God, we're showing more blood. We're seeing his eyes. It's more violent. We have a motive. We got Laurie as the sister and Michael as the brother. And so she was adopted by the Strodes when he was put in incarceration. It's like, what the hell is this shit? Like, that's what he thinks. He's like, I don't know what I was forced into it. I came up with something as best I could. And this makes sense. And there you go. Oh, okay. There you go. Right. But he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it because it's basically the antithesis. Like, I actually like Halloween 2. I do. I disagree with him that it's a complete disaster or something like that. No, I actually think it's still the best Halloween sequel in the franchise. But I see from his perspective. I'm also not the guy that made the movie either. So I can see from his perspective, yeah. Like, for example, when I make the house on Port Robinson Road, let's hypothetically say that it's like, oh my God, it's this big thing, right? And they want to do sequels. And all of a sudden, because of some sort of deal I made to get the movie done, I'm not a part, whatever the case is, right? And I'm like, and then they make a sequel to The House on Port Robinson Road, and it's like completely different. It's like this bloody, gory, demonic movie, and it's been demons and, the walls are bleeding, the floorboards are shaking, ghosts are coming out. Rah! I'd be like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? Because I'm like, that has nothing to do with the whole, what are we doing? Yeah, but it's a sequel. We got and it's just like, yeah. And so, and at that time, it's relative, right? I mean, now Halloween 2 is pretty tame, but at that time, they felt they needed to compete with Friday the 13th and all the other slasher B movies, that were coming in and around that time. And so, yes, Halloween 2 compared to movies today is very tame, but Halloween 2 in 1981 was a bloody, gory slasher movie. And it was, like I said, the complete antithesis of the intention of the whole reason, the whole point of making that first Halloween movie in the first place. Halloween 2 is not Hitchcock at all. I love Halloween 2. I do. And I think there's some great moments in there. I don't hate it. But yeah, it's not Hitchcock. It's not what Halloween is, right? And so that's why ultimately he's like, yeah, that's not my movie. That's not, it's like, yeah, but he wrote it. Well, yeah, because he was contractually obligated and he did the best thing he could at, 3 o'clock in the morning with a 6-pack of beer, as he famously says. Let me see here. Gentle on James sends in $5, says, what if a studio offered you unlimited everything to make The House on Port Robinson Road, theatrical release, etc.? Their only stipulations, Tom Cruise has to be the lead. That would, the lead, that would make no sense. And although, you know what? Well, it would make no sense that he would be the lead because it's a movie about 20-something kids. So he's 63 years old. But there might be a character or two in the movie that he could be, but he wouldn't necessarily be the lead. So that just wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense. I'd push back on that. I'd push back on that and be like, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Because that would be the studio's way of, we need star power. And I'd be like, Tom Cruise? Hey, you never know. You never know. But yeah, and folks, by the way, speaking of the House on Port Robinson Road Development Funds campaign, we are sitting at almost 25%. We're sitting at almost 25%, 55 backers. That's Canadian dollars. Folks, I only need about $166 to get to 25%. Do you think we could do that tonight? And you want to know why I think we could do it tonight? Because you're all Halloween fans. Don't leave. Don't leave because I'm talking about the House on Port Robinson Road. Don't leave, you sons of bitches. I love you guys. Is this right here? This is a perk on the campaign. And even if you can't attend on Halloween night, you can still watch after the fact, and it helps out the campaign. This is something I'm doing on Halloween night, Friday, October 31st, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Bloodbath double feature. I'm watching Halloween Kills and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. It's limited to 100 people. It's a private watch-along. It's on the campaign right now. I think I've had 11 people pick up the perk. I'd love to sell this out if I could. Let's see if we can sell maybe, 4 or 5 tonight. That would be amazing. That would put us at 25% on the campaign for sure, and then some. I would love to see you guys there. And even if you're busy, Halloween night, Dave, it's Halloween night. I've got kids. I'm going to a Halloween party. I'm going to see John Carpenter in concert. I'm going to, whatever the case is, people are busy. You will still have the link and you can watch it after the fact. So even if you can't watch it live, you can get home from your concert or from trick-or-treating or maybe, the next day, and you can tune in and watch it there. Now, why Halloween Kills and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? Because some people have said, why not Halloween 18 and Halloween Kills? Why not Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? Because when I looked up online, what are the 2 most violent, bloodiest Halloween movies in the franchise? The internet told me it was Halloween Kills and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So I thought, why not Halloween night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, limited to 100 people. Let's watch Halloween Kills and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I mean, who doesn't want to watch me watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, right? Am I right? So that is on the... Sorry about that. That is on the campaign right now, and it's down right. And remember, all these dollars you're seeing right here are Canadian dollars. So they're cheaper for you in the US. There it is right there. We have 11 people that have picked it up. It's $50 Canadian, but that's about $36 for you in the States, 25 or 26 pounds for you in the UK. I would love to see you guys there. I would love to sell this out. I mean, we're all Halloween fans here, and you're doing something special for me as well. You're helping with the Development Funds campaign for the House on Port Robinson Road, a lifelong dream of mine to get the movie made. And again, this is a development campaign, so the funds raised for this campaign don't go towards actually making the movie. They go towards all the things we need to do to get the project into a position where we can seek financing so we can actually make the movie. So I'm asking asking you, I know it's not as fun and maybe as exciting as the past campaigns I've ran, but I'm asking you to believe in a vision, to believe in my vision, to believe in me, to be able to bring this film inspired by true events from my second year of college to life. And this is a great perk for Halloween fans. And I think this would be awesome. So I'd love to not sell out tonight, of course, although that'd be amazing. I mean, there are 102 people watching right now. I mean, hell, if we can get 90 people to pick it up, hell, we're rocking. It'd be awesome. I mean, listen, sometimes it's really fun to sit and watch movies we don't particularly like. I don't particularly like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Actually, I don't like it at all. But it's going to be fun to watch it. And because I've only seen it like 2 or 3 times in my life, and I haven't seen it in like 5 or 6 years, who knows? Maybe and I do like the opening. I love that dream sequence. Oh my God, I wish it was the whole movie. Ladies and gentlemen. I wish it was the whole movie. But yeah, there's other perks on here, of course, too. The November Files, the mystery envelope, that's a great one as well. Other perks on here, signed concept posters, t-shirts, all that juicy stuff. It goes to a good cause. That cause, helping the Development Funds campaign for the house on Port Robinson Road. And so, folks, I would love to be able to sell. I'm focusing obviously on the Halloween perk right now. You can pick up any perk you want. And if you don't see a perk you want, but you still want to help me out because you're somebody that's like, Dave, I just want to say thank you for all of the content over the years, all the Halloween shit over the years. You've helped me through some hard times. I receive those kinds of, DMs a lot, and they're amazing. It's truly humbling to know that you can have that effect on people you don't know. And if you're looking for ways to just say thank you or to help me out, this is a way to do it. You don't have to pick up a perk. You can scroll to the very end of the perks, and there's an option to donate, and you can donate as little or as much as you want, and that's a way to say thank you as well. And then you don't have to worry about forking over your address or anything like that, and then receiving a perk in the mail that you really don't want. You know what I mean? But you still support. You still say, yeah, man, go fucking get it, man. Here's $30, here's, $40, $10, whatever, right? So you can donate there as well. But we're all Halloween fans here, and I thought that why not promote the Halloween perk, because 11 of you have picked it up, and I'd love to be able to see it go up. So I will put that link into the chat. There's the link right there in the chat. I will pin it to the top of the chat room. So the link to the campaign is pinned to the top of the chat room now. So you just click on that, and it will take you to the campaign over on Indiegogo. We're at 24%. Folks, I only need to get to 5,000 Canadian to hit 25%. And I think we could do that tonight, right? I mean, am I crazy to think that? I think we could do that tonight. That's basically like 3, Halloween perks. So I think we could do that. I'd like to see us do that. I think it'd be awesome. Alex Shambach's been a member for nearly 2 years, and he sends in a member chat. Thanks, buddy. Says Halloween 6 gets credit for the autumn aesthetic and foreboding Myers. Plus, it was released during the Halloween season. Unbelievable it took until H18 for that to be true again. I wish H2O used the mask. Well, it kind of was released during the Halloween season, but back in 1995, we weren't celebrating Halloween in August like we do now. And so yes, it was released one day before October. So technically it was kind of released in the Halloween season, but, it was still released at the end of September. And, it's still, it really didn't have any legs at all. And, by the time Halloween came around, Halloween 6 was kind of just like, it was past news. You know what I mean? It's not like they released it on like October 20th or something like that. You know what I mean? Where it was like right in the thick of Halloween. They released it like a month before Halloween, which was probably not a smart thing to do, and not a smart thing to do in 1995 when people were not, celebrating Halloween in July. I mean, right now, everybody's losing their minds for Halloween in September and in August. Spirit Halloween is opening up shit like, I don't know, tomorrow. It's like, what the fuck, man? It wasn't like that 30 years ago. So, but I do get what you're saying. But you're right. It wasn't until the last Halloween movie to have been released in actually the month of October was Halloween 5 in 1989. And then not again until Halloween 18 in 2018. Josh McKenna sends in $9.99. Thank you, Josh. Says, how strongly is Canada tied to the UK in terms of culture? Do you celebrate UK holidays? I hear there was a holiday called Boxing Day. Is Boxing Day a real thing? Do you care about the Royals? That's a lot, Josh. We are tied culturally very much because we are a British colony. We were part of the British Empire, and then we gained our independence in 1876. And then it was 1876, 1876, 1880s. Fuck, I can't remember now. Somewhere in the late 1800s. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously we have a prime minister. We have a parliamentary democracy. We have a governor general who is the king's official representative here in Canada. It's more ceremonial than anything. A lot of this stuff, I mean, we are a completely independent nation. A lot of the stuff is very ceremonial because we do have ties to the British monarchy. And yeah, I mean, it's fine. I've grown up with it. I don't have any issues with it. We do celebrate Boxing Day. That's December 26th. That's the day after Christmas. It has nothing to do with boxing, the sport of boxing. It has everything to do. It's basically our Black Friday. Now, we also celebrate Black Friday now, as they do in the UK as well, I believe. But many, many, many years ago, Boxing Day, which was the day after Christmas, it basically is the day that everybody boxes all the things up they want to return, which I think is kind of why it's called that. But Boxing Day used to be Boxing Day, and then it was like Boxing Weekend, and then it was like Boxing Week. And, you know, it's like when there's amazing deals on and like, oh my God, that PS5 was like regular price $700. Now it's like $499. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, you know, and it's like, holy shit, it's like $200 off or $300 off. That's what Boxing Day is here in Canada. But we have also adopted Black Friday as well and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, we do. No, I don't have any issues with it. I've grown up with it. What do we think about the Royals? Some people love it. Some people like the nostalgia and the ceremonial sort of, connection. Others don't care. My mother was born in England. I'm not just Canadian. I actually have British and English roots. I am, I guess, technically half English because my mother was born in England. And she came to Canada in 1956 when she was only 12 years old. She came over on a boat with my grandparents and my uncles. And so I'm very British, I guess. The only way I could be more English is if my dad was also English, but that's not the case. But yeah, so I've always, my mom always, obviously had an affection for the culture and, the Royals and things like that. And so, yeah, I have no issues with it. I don't particularly care. I mean, I'm good. Antonis Andriotis, I finally saw Lilo and Stitch last night on demand. Have you seen it yet? I have not seen it, Antonis. I have not seen it at all. Okay. We're up to 4,899. We are $100 away from 25%. $100 away from 25%. Folks, I have no doubt there. Look, there's 91 people watching right now. Some of you want to get in on this, right? Do a solid for me, folks. Do a solid for me. Come on, man. Some of you want to get in on this. It's only about $36, $37 US. And the link is pinned to the top of the chat. We are $100 away from 25%. I believe we can get to that tonight. Let me give a shout out to, let me see who helped us out tonight. Went from 55 to 58. We've got, okay, nobody's picked it. Oh, no, we got Tabitha Short. Tabitha Short, what's going on, Tabitha? One of our great moderators. Tabitha Short picked up the Bloodbath feature. Amazing, Tabitha. Thank you. Josh McKenna donated $15. Amazing, Josh. Thank you. And Amy Wade picked up a t-shirt. Thank you, Amy. Really appreciate that. T-shirt number 2 with a picture of the actual house on it. The house that the movie is inspired by, with the tagline, "They say it's the place where the dead speak." It's an actual line from the movie. And it's not like, it's not said in a way that's like Crazy Ralph. They say it's a place where the dead speak. No, it's nothing. It's not said by some old man or anything like that. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. Oh, and by the way, too, I should say this as well. I might make a social media post about this, but I've actually had a few people, and I can understand why, especially when I'm promoting the original material that inspired the movie, which is on the campaign as well, which is the November Files. The house on Port Robinson Road is not, I repeat, is not a found footage movie. It's not a found footage movie. It's completely live action narrative film. Has nothing to do with that. It doesn't have anything to do with demons or possessions, or it's not The Conjuring. It's not, Insidious or anything like that. So, but yeah, it's not a found footage movie at all. Not even close. Because some people have asked, is it a found footage movie like Blair Witch? And I can understand why they might think that, because they see me promoting some of the footage, the video footage that inspired me to write this film, which we took 25 years ago in the year 2000, right? The 8mm camcorder footage. Well, that's very found footage like, right? So I totally get why people might think, so is this like a found footage movie? It's like, no, not at all. Not at all. There's no found footage movie in this movie at all. Yeah. But I know we can get to 5,000 tonight. I know we can, folks. I know we can. I believe in you. Tom Hungarian says, check the campaign. This could be a milestone. Check the campaign, lady. Yes! Yes! Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes! Yes! Yes, we did it! We hit 25%! 5,004 Canadian shekels! 5,004 Canadian shekels, 59 backers, 52 days left in the Development Funds campaign for the house on Port Robinson Road. You guys are stepping up. You're believing in a vision. I know this campaign, as I said, may not be as exciting as past campaigns, but this is so important. This is about creating the vision, getting the vision so good, so amazing, so awesome through, the pitch deck and the lookbooks and breaking down the script with a line producer and concept art and, bringing on a legal team and all the things we need to do to get our pitch package in tip-top shape into a position where when we do speak to, whether it's a studio or a production company or a producer or financiers or angel investors or whatever the case is, our pitch package is so great, is so enticing, is so inviting, is so intriguing that they're just like, we need to get in on this. I mean, this is amazing. You've done such a great job here. You've got a great script. You've got storyboards. You've got concept art. You've got this. You've got that. You've broken it down. You know how much this thing's going to cost. You know what this is going to, this is amazing. This is amazing, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's what this campaign is all about. This is the development of the vision, right? The script is done. The script is done. I do have a lookbook, and if I do say so myself, it's pretty good. But of course, this is just the beginning. So the fact that you guys are stepping up again in this way means a lot to me. It really does. And I need you to know that. I want you to know that. It's not hyperbole when I say that this means more to me than you likely will ever know. This is not just an idea. You're not just helping to fund another idea. You're helping to fund something I've been working on for more than half my life. A real story. And that's the other thing I wanted to say too, because some people have let me hear about, or some people know that I've let them hear the now infamous, famous don't EVP, right? And that's really the only major thing that I've kind of let out of the bag in terms of our experience 25 years ago. And some people, and I understand why, some people have said, so you've written a movie around so how did you write a movie around this one EVP? It's not. The don't EVP was just something I let you guys hear, but there's so many things that happened to us, and there's so many things that have helped to inspire the actual story, The House on Port Robinson Road. So the movie is not, the don't EVP plays a part, it plays a role in the film, of course it does, but it's not about the don't EVP. The story is not about, a group of college kids that go over to a house and pick up a don't EVP. That's not what the movie's about. That's part of it, but it's way more involved than that. And there's a real story here that's happening, and there's a lot of truth in it. Of course, it's inspired by true events. There are definitely things in the script, in the story that absolutely happen. But of course, it's inspired by, I have to adapt the real story into a screenplay for the screen, very much like how you adapt a book to a screen. You have to, not everything translates for cinema. So I did have to take some creative liberties in order to be able to tell the story that I wanted to tell. So that's why it's inspired by true events. But I'm very proud of it. I'm very excited about it. I think obviously it's full of mood and atmosphere and suspense, and it's scary, but it's also got heart. It's about it's a character-driven film. It's not just about the scares, right? It's about these kids, and it's about more than that. And it ends up in a place where I think will probably surprise a lot of people. But I'm very excited about it. And that's what you're doing. You're again, I know that this campaign isn't about lights, camera, action, but this is about all the stuff we need to do to get this into a position where it's like, yes, it's going to be very hard for people to pass us by. Like, that's the ultimate goal of any indie filmmaker, especially when they're in a position to do that. And also, I have tiers, right? So I've put the base goal at 20,000 Canadian, right? Now, obviously, for a development funds, I would love to have 50,000, but I didn't know how well this campaign was going to do because of the kind of campaign it is. I'm not offering Blu-rays or, that kind of thing because I can't yet. But I do have stretch goals, right? And so keep in mind that our stretch goals, which are here, we have two stretch goals, which are here, right? The first, of course, is our base goal at 20,000. We have a stretch goal of 30,000 Canadian, that's 22,000 US, and 60,000 Canadian, that's 44,000 US. Now, do I think we're going to hit 60,000? Probably not. Probably not. And that's no disrespect to the community and you guys. It's just because of the kind of campaign it is. It's not, flashy like the Billy ones, because the Billy ones were for actually lights, camera, action, right? They were to make the movie. We had actors already in place. We had everything, you know what I mean? This is a bit different. We don't have any actors. We don't have any, crew and all that kind of stuff. So this, I have ideas, don't get me wrong, but so this is a bit different. It's a different kind of campaign. It's all about true groundwork, true getting in on the ground when nothing else is going on, and being there truly at the inception, at the beginning of this vision, and which is very exciting. But if we can hit 20,000 Canadian, that's the base goal. That helps us with the essentials. I say here, covering the essentials, concept art, travel and legal consultations, refining our lookbook and pitch deck. That gets the project ready for serious conversations. If we can hit 30,000 and maybe even 20, it depends on who I hire, but with 30,000 especially, that's 22,000 US, we now move from visual development into practical planning. So we bring in key production roles like a line producer to help me break down the script, because if we're going to be talking to a studio or a production company or a financer or an angel investor or a producer, we need to know, how much is this movie going to cost? Right? We can't just go, I don't know, I think it's probably gonna. No, we need to know, how much is this going to cost? How much is this going to cost? Now, I did a preliminary breakdown. I didn't have actuals. I did a preliminary breakdown myself about 3 months ago. And the preliminary breakdown that I did, going through everything, unions and fees and guilds and night shoots and lighting and grip and actors and craft services and catering and production insurance. The whole everything you got to go through when you're shooting, a major feature. It came to between $2.5 and $3 million Canadian. Now, if it was shot here in Canada, of course, and it doesn't have to be shot here. I'll shoot it wherever, as long as it makes sense and, wherever the money's coming from. But I will say that, and in the world of movies, that's very low. But those aren't actuals, right? That's ballpark. That's a ballpark. So a line producer, if we can hit 30,000, again, I might be able to bring on a line producer when we hit 20. I might be able to. It's possible. It depends on how I allocate the funds and how, but certainly if we hit 30, we're there. And that line producer is going to help me break down the script and figure out how much is this movie going to cost, because we need to know that. We need to know. And she or he could come back and say, you know what? It's not going to cost you $2.5 million. It's going to cost you $4 million. Or you know what? It's not going to cost you $2.5 million. I think we could probably do it for $1.9 million. And we know that going into meetings. We have to know that. And so this is what this campaign is all about, is assembling that team, working through those logistics. Maybe if we get to 60,000 Canadian, maybe I can bring on a name. And when I say a name, I don't mean like an A-list star, but I mean there's a couple, not Tom Cruise, but there's a couple of, there's one role in particular in the film that I think might be interesting for a name actor to jump on board with. I don't mean an A-list star. I don't think I could afford that. But somebody who you'd go, oh, Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, I know. Oh, yes, of course. I know that actor, right? Because if there's a name attached to the project, that only helps, right? That helps as well when we go into meetings, when we go into, we know our budget. We got this, we got that, we got this. Look at this. Here's the script. Bada bang, bada bang. Oh, and so-and-so is attached, right? And so that's what this stage is all about, is the development stage for the house on Port Robinson Road. So it may not be flashy. You may look at the perks and go, there's no Blu-rays. There's no producer perks. I get it. But it's only because I can't promise it right now, because I don't even know if I'm going to be in charge of distribution. I have no idea. This isn't a fan film. This is an original psychological horror drama. That I hope one day will, maybe, depending on where it goes, maybe it'll wind up in the theaters, or maybe it'll play the festival circuit and get picked up by A24 or something. Who knows, right? Or maybe it'll end up on Prime or Netflix. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go, but this is the kind of film where that possibility is real. There's a real possibility here of that. With the Billy films, we couldn't do that, A, because they were short films. B, although they were professionally produced and professional indie films, they were fan films at the end of the day, because we don't own the intellectual property. So we couldn't do anything with them other than post them online for free. And so we couldn't make money, from them at all. But with this is different. This is an original feature-length psychological horror film. And so, but I'm in the development stage. That's where I am. So I just wanted to, again, quickly go over that in case anybody is new who's joining. Every little bit helps, folks. I would appreciate it so much. Again, that's a picture of the real house. That is the picture that I took in November 2000. That's the official synopsis there. I can read that again. Actually, it's always good to kind of read that, because some people might not know. They might not have read it. They might not have heard about it. This is the official synopsis for the house on Port Robinson Road. In a small, peaceful town in November 2000, a group of local college friends explore an abandoned 19th century farmhouse after hearing rumors of paranormal activity. During their first visit on a gloomy, windy autumn day, the house appears to be nothing more than a dilapidated structure cloaked in unsettling silence. But when they return under the cover of night during a violent thunderstorm, a terrifying event unfolds, one that leaves them shaken, bewildered, and desperate for answers. On their next visit, the mystery deepens and the disturbing events escalate. With each revelation, the enigma grows, sparking philosophical debates among the friends. What begins as a search for answers soon becomes a transformative quest, one that pulls them beyond the boundaries of reality and into another dimension of consciousness. Now, they must uncover what really happened inside the house on Port Robinson Road before the truth is lost forever. So, again, it's a psychological horror drama. It's philosophical, it's existential. It's not a slasher movie. It's not blood, guts, and gore. There's no sex, there's no drugs, there's no, nudity. It's not that kind of movie. But I'm very proud of it, and I'm excited about it, as you can clearly see. That's of course the official concept poster there. And yeah, so very, very excited about it. Oops. Yeah. There we go. Indeed. Let's go back over here. So, yeah. So, folks, who else wants to pick up the Bloodbath double feature? It's on the campaign right now. Halloween night, Friday, October 31st, 2025. Do not fret, ladies and gentlemen. Do not fret. Do not fret. There I am. Do not fret if you cannot make it. Do not fret if you cannot make it. You will have a link to the show after the fact. We're going to watch Halloween Kills and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, limited to 100 people only, on Friday night, October 31st, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 1 a.m. UK time. But hey, it's a Friday night. It's a Friday night. But you can watch it after the fact as well. $50 Canadian, about $36 US, about 26 pounds UK. So it's absolutely affordable, right in the wheelhouse. And it helps the campaign out. And if we can sell all 100 out, that would be a huge jump to the campaign. A huge jump to the campaign. And who doesn't want to sit with me on Halloween night, eating Halloween candy, eating Munchies, Halloween candy, eating Smarties. Of course, you call them, rockets in Canada are Smarties in the US. Chips, eating chips. It's Halloween candy, man. Watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, watching Halloween Kills. It's going to be fun, man. We're just going to laid back, chill out stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I would love to sell all 100 out. And I realize that, I figured, look, we're all Halloween fans here, right? So, and again, if you want to do me a solid, if you want to support the campaign, if you want to say thank you, Dave, thanks for all the content over the years. Thanks for being there. Whatever the case is, this is a great way to do it. It's a great, affordable way to do it. And again, this money doesn't go into my pocket. This money goes towards the development funds for the campaign. It goes towards my dream as a filmmaker, and a project I've been trying to get off the ground, as I said, for 25 years, more than half my life, which is pretty wild. So check it out. The Bloodbath double feature, folks. It's on the campaign right now. Make sure you check that out. I'd love to get it, folks. I'd love to get it. 25%. And by the way, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. I'd love to get it. Or I'd love to reach the goal of 50. And my goal is by the end of this Sunday, and certainly by the end of next week, when we hit the 2-week mark, I'd love to get to 30%. Now, think about this. Because the campaign is relatively low, the base, right, is 20,000 Canadian, 30% from here is only is just another $1,000. Now you might say, Dave, yeah, but that doesn't all have to come from one person, right? If 5 people all bought the Halloween perk, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's like $250 right there. If 10 people all bought the Halloween perk, that's like $500 right there. We're halfway there, right? So that's why I think the Halloween perk can really bump this up significantly. But I'd love to be at 30% by the end of the weekend. That's just 6,000 Canadian. So that's that's $996 from now. And all that takes is, a bunch of people coming in, buying the Halloween perk, maybe picking up a poster, buying a t-shirt. You know what I mean? It goes a long way, folks. It goes a long way. Tom Hungarian says, gotta slide out. Later, Dave. Later, everyone. Finish the stream tomorrow. Take care, Tom. Take care. The House on Lambkin Lane says, I meant ticket stub. Thanks. Autocorrect. I still have my ticket. Stinky? Stub. You meant stub. From Halloween 6? That's cool. That's really cool. The Violator says, damn it, got the notification late. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube does that. I don't know why they do that. I'm not entirely sure. Let me see here. Evil Alex says in the film, she says, don't, and Dave gonna whip out the Uzi and start blast. Oh, yeah, no, that's not what happens. No, the house on Port Robinson Road is, and it's clear it should be clear, at least by the synopsis description. Now, I know that the synopsis is not overly involved, but I think the synopsis should be clear that, this is more than just a bunch of kids in a haunted house. There's more going on here. And it's not. It's the don't EVP is not the MacGuffin, nor is it the climax of the movie. It's not a. It's important. It absolutely is important, but I just want to, kind of demystify any of those thoughts that some people have had. And I understand why some people might have had them as well, because, I get it. Like, I totally get it. So is there anybody else in the chat that wants to pick up that Halloween perk? Is there anybody else watching who's not chatting? There's 103 people in here right now. You mean to tell me out of the 103 people watching, there's not one or two others that may want to pick up that Bloodbath double feature? I'm just saying. You don't want to sit with me? I'm just saying. And again, if you're busy Halloween night, it's okay. You get the link anyway because you purchased the perk. You get the private link. You could watch it after the fact. I'm just saying. Josh McKenna sends in $9.99. Thank you, Josh, and says, how often do actors talk and post about, how often do actors have to talk and post about movies? Jamie Lee Curtis is posting a lot about Freakier Friday. Is she actually required to post that often? Well, I mean, it's not possibly. Some actors are contractually obligated to obviously do the press junkets and do all that kind of stuff. It's built into their contract because they help to promote the movie. They are the stars of the movie. They help promote the movie, and the stars of the movie promote the movie, help people go and see the movie. And so, yes, it likely is in her contract. And I mean, because she's Jamie Lee Curtis, and she may also be a producer on the project, or she may do things that she's not required to do just because she's Jamie Lee Curtis and she just likes being connected in that way and doing that kind of stuff. She seems like the kind of person that can go above and beyond that kind of thing. But yeah, she definitely, actors, if you see actors on talk shows, doing the press junkets, doing the podcasts, it's built into the contract. Juan Rivera says, Dave, have you seen the Netflix documentary Trainwreck? I have not. The one about Toronto Mayor, Rob Ford. I have not seen it. I don't necessarily need to see it, Juan. I lived it. No, I will check it out. But yeah, no, I remember that. Rob Ford. He was mayor from 2010 to 2014, I believe. 2014. So yeah. But Chris says, grab the Halloween perk and excited to hang out Halloween night. You grabbed it? Did you grab it earlier tonight? Maybe Chris, you got to convince people to grab it, man. Hey, who wants to join Chris and I? And nobody wants to join Chris and I? We're going to fucking have munchies and Halloween candy and watching Rob Zombie's Halloween too? All right, well, we'll just be Chris and I. I don't know, 5 and I don't know. Oh, and by the way, you're not on camera. I should say that. Like, some people will be like, oh, I don't have to be on camera, do I? Not at all. Not at all. It's a live stream like this. You watch in the chat. I'm here hosting. We're watching Halloween together. We're shooting the shit, talking like this. We're eating candy. We're having fun. It's Halloween. We'll have Halloween decorations. You know what I mean? It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're camera shy, if you're worried about that kind of thing, do not fret, my fellow Halloween fans. You do not have to be on camera at all. Just so you know. But thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that. Evil Alex says she is a producer and likes to post on social media anyway all the time. Yeah, so it's inherently in her nature anyway, but if she's a producer, which she most likely is on a lot of the projects she's involved in, then she's just doing her that specifically thing might not be built into her contract specifically, but she takes that on as a producer. So yeah. Got it. Chris said, picked up on your last live show. Awesome. Let's see who can bring the most creative snacks. Yes. Oh, yeah. Totally, man. Totally. Yeah. Bring the snacks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Wear a Halloween costume. I don't know. But I'd love to see it. I personally think, like, when I scroll down on that perk, and again, for those of you watching, you're seeing this in Canadian dollars. So if you click the link pinned to the top of the chat, you'll see it a lot cheaper for you because the dollar here in Canada obviously is worth less and things are more expensive here. So we've got 13 out of 100. 13 out of 100. I mean, we should be able to sell that out, right? I mean, am I wrong? I don't mean tonight. I just mean in general. Like, you would think that that's a no-brainer. I mean, watching Halloween, maybe some people are like, I would, Dave, but I don't want to watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And it's like, I understand that, but, I just figure that we always watch Halloween, the original. We always watch the original Halloween 2. We always watch Halloween 4. I'm always ribbing on Halloween 5, right? I thought, why not do Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? Spread the love around. And, like I said, this isn't arbitrary. I call it the Bloodbath double feature for a reason. This is because they are the two most bloodiest violent Halloween films in the franchise. So who doesn't want to watch the two most bloodiest violent films in the franchise with me? Halloween night, Friday, October 31st, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And would mean a lot to me because the money raised goes towards the development of my lifelong dream of making this movie. So I would really, really appreciate it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Oh, there's the mystery envelope, the Port Robinson Road street sign. Again, cheaper for you in the U.S. and much cheaper for you in the U.K. I mean, for you in the U.K., it's probably like, God, I don't know what that is. Maybe like what, $80 or something? I don't know. $70 or pounds, I should say. The real photos, the November files, these are great. This tier is all about getting a video, an in-depth video of the real photos from the experience that inspired the movie. This is the real audio, and I don't just mean the don't EVP. That's in there, but I mean all the audio. And it's a video of all the audio. You pick up that perk. You also get that perk as well, the first one as well. And it's a video of me explaining everything, what you're hearing. It's not 90 seconds. I mean, this is in-depth shit, folks. Then there's then there's the November Files Platinum, the real video footage. So with the November Files Platinum, you get the video footage, actual video footage from the house on Port Robinson Road, the real 8mm footage, folks. And it's pretty crazy. It's pretty awesome. And then you get everything else, all the other November Files perks as well. And then there's the top tier. This is kind of like the executive producer tier, for this campaign, is the Legacy Files tier. Again, that's $9.50 Canadian. That's probably about $700 US, maybe £500 or £600 in the UK. And so it's a priority tier. It's a top tier, but we've already had one claim. And this one, you get everything. You get every perk on this campaign, including coming to the private link for the Bloodbath double feature. But you also get, it says right here, you also get your name will be permanently featured on the House on Port Robinson Road founder wall, hosted on Dave McRae's official website. My official website is davemcraeofficial.com. And that website will have an official page dedicated to the house on Port Robinson Road, and your name, it's not there yet, but it will. And your name will be etched there permanently as a legacy founder, of course, if you were to pick up that perk. So again, lots of great stuff here, especially if you're interested in the paranormal and you like watching those ghost hunting shows and ghost adventures and you love that kind of stuff. The November Files tiers, the November Files, the November Files Plus, the November Files Platinum, and the November Files Legacy is going to be stuff you're going to want to get in on, because this tier is you also get a private link to a live stream with me and some of my college friends talking about the real experience of the house on Port Robinson Road. Literally talking about it. It's a Q&A as well, so you get to ask as many questions as you want, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to share stories and all that kind of stuff, and you get that with the Legacy Files tier as well. So, and you get every other tier on the campaign. So pretty cool stuff indeed. So, the fact that this is a development campaign and not a production budget campaign, that's pretty cool. You got some pretty cool stuff, especially if you're into this kind of stuff. And again, even if you're not, you can scroll to into the perks, you can scroll to the end on your phone, because most people are probably looking at this on their phone. You can scroll to the end on your phone and just donate. So, but I would love to see this perk here, folks. I would love to see this one here. I mean, we should be able to get to 50, right? Does anybody in the chat think we can get to 50? Not necessarily tonight, but I mean overall. Who thinks we can sell out, and who thinks we can at least get to 50? I just want a show of kind of hands in the chat. Remember, that's about $35, $36 American, about 25 pounds in the UK. Who thinks that? I mean, I think we should be able to get to 50 between now and the campaign ends, right? I would think, but maybe not. Maybe it'll be a small, tight-knit group. I have no idea. Brandon Collins says, I skipped school to see Halloween 6 on opening day. I've always loved this film. There are problems, but it picked up the pieces of 5 and made something out of it. That is true. Big Rick James says, Dave, what's your thoughts on these Halloween fan films? They all stuck unless you have they all stink unless you have one that's recommended. Happy Halloween by Jimmy Champagne is pretty good. Not pretty good. It's actually very good. There's others. I don't know. I don't usually watch the Halloween fan films that are out there, to be honest with you. I don't really know. There's so many. There's a dime a dozen. There's a Halloween fan film for every, there's a Halloween fan film for every grain of sand on the beach. You know what I mean? And to varying degrees of quality. So I'm not entirely sure. But I know his was pretty good. That was like 20 years ago. That was like 5 or 6 years ago. I think he did that. But yeah, a show of hands. I'd like to see. If anybody thinks we can get to, don't be shy. It's all right. You can just tell me if you think we're going to get to it or not. I don't know. Nobody wants to say. It's like, all right, nobody wants to say. Fine, we shall consume, but not give. No. Andrew Shaw says, The Curse of Michael Myers is one of my most watched Halloween movies. I've seen it about 200 times. I think the feel of the movie is amazing, drenching in Halloween ambiance, which is a must. Well, I will say that it is definitely more moody and atmospheric than Halloween 5. That is definitely true. That is definitely true. You are 100% on that. But I just still can't get behind the movie. It's just not something that I'm interested in. Chris says, power of positivity halfway is doable. I think so. I mean, listen, there's 95 people in here right now, right? And there's 13 people that have picked up that perk. And I understand. Like, I first want to say this. I understand that donating to a vision, and donating to a campaign, it's tricky, right? There's a psychological, sociological thing about it. Not everybody watching right now gives two shits about the house on Port Robinson Road. A lot of people do. A lot of people don't. I understand that. I'm not delusional. I get it. And I understand that not everybody's going to want to donate or contribute. I understand that. I don't take it personally. No harm, no foul. Totally get it. All I ask is that you consider it, especially if you really value the channel and the content and you've appreciated all the content over the years and you're looking for a way to say thanks. That's a good way to do it. I'm not saying you got to pick up the highest tier, right? $30 goes a long way, right? If, 100 people all spend $30, that's a significant amount of money. And so all I ask is that you consider it. That's all. But times are tough. And I know that inflation is there and we live in a crazy world and times are tough. But I also know that in the summer of 2020, the first year of the pandemic, the first year of the global pandemic, when people were working from home and hoarding toilet paper and not spending money and not seeing their families, we raised 64,000 Canadian dollars in the middle of a pandemic. Now, to be fair, that was exciting. It was more exciting. I get it. It felt a little more tangible because we had actors. It was for production budget. It was a lot of people were home, so they had nothing else to do than watch me. I totally get that. I understand that. But it is achievable and it is doable. And I believe in this community. You've stepped up once, you've stepped up twice, and I believe we can do it again. And this campaign is much lower than that. I mean, do I think we're going to get to 60,000, which is our highest stretch goal? Probably not, just because of the kind of campaign it is. But I think 20,000 is absolutely achievable. I mean, it's nowhere near the 60,000 in 2020, and it's light years away from the 120,000 in 2023. And we achieved both of those with time to spare. And so that's why I set it low. But if we can reach the 20,000, that puts the campaign into in demand. And then I don't have to worry about running another campaign if I need more money. I can just leave this campaign open, right? And then we can continue to work towards the stretch goals as we see fit. Right? You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I want to get to 20,000. I mean, obviously for development, you'd love to have more than 20,000 because Indiegogo also takes a, fee as well, right? So that 20,000 is probably about 18,000 really. And that's standard, practice. Standard practice? Yeah, I guess so. With Indiegogo, these platforms take their fees, right? And so, but if we can hit it, that would be amazing because that means we're in demand. So yeah, I feel that again, all I ask is that you consider it. That's all I ask. I know it feels a little bit like a pipe dream right now. It feels a little weird because there's nothing tangible. Like, what is development? You're asking me to. Basically, it's true. I am asking you to believe in a vision. I'm asking you to believe in the concept and in the idea because that's where we are right now. Now, there is a script. It's not totally just a vision. There is a script. It is done. I've had people in the industry, people I trust, read it, give feedback. They all really like it. They're like, this is really good. You know what I mean? And so that's a positive. So it's further along than just an idea off the top of my head. I mean, we have a lookbook and pitch deck. We have, a finished script. There is momentum that is building. But now that we have those things, we're at that stage now where we need money. We need money to be able to move to the next stage, which is involving lawyers and line producers and, concept art and, all these kinds of things, right? And so that's where we're at. So every little bit helps, guys. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. The Primetime Podcast says, we can get there, Dave. I hope so, buddy. I hope so. I think it's doable. I mean, like I said, maybe 100 people, maybe not 100, people, I don't really want to, thanks, Dave. I mean, listen, and again, I don't take this personally. You have people that are like, Dave, I love your shit. Yes, I will donate $35 to the, whatever, right? And then you have people like, Dave, I love your shit, but no, I am not donating $35. Sorry, Dave, I'm just not doing it. I've got it, but I just don't want to donate it to your campaign. There's those people too. And that's okay. Like hey, people are, that's, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I don't take it personal. And then you have people like, Dave, things are tight right now. I'd love to, but things are kind of tight. Hey, totally get it, man. Totally get it, right? And then you have people that are like, Dave, I don't give a fuck about you or your show, but I like to hate watch you, and so I'm not going to donate at all. And then you got those people too. So you got a large, and then you get people that are like, Dave, I love your shit, man. I'm coming in. Where is that November Files Legacy tier, man? I'm going all in. I want to see the videos. I want to see the photos. I want to hear the audio. I want to watch you with your friends talk about the experience. I want that shirt and that t-shirt and that poster and that Port Robinson Road sign and that envelope. I'm going all in, baby. You get those people too. And you're like, oh my God, you're amazing. Thank you. You know what I mean? But most people don't go in high. Folks, crowdfunding campaigns, yes, you will always get some people that come in high, that hit the high tiers, the mega tiers, right? Of course, and we love those people. But campaigns are won in the trenches. Crowdfunding campaigns are won not with bombs being dropped. We love when bombs get dropped because, then I go, oh my God, it's amazing, right? Or when we hit a milestone. But campaigns are won in the trenches. $30, $25, $40, $10, $30, $45. That's where it's won, right? And it adds up. It starts adding up. And so, like, for example, if we sold out the Bloodbath perk, if we sold out this perk, and all I'm asking is you to consider it. Halloween night, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Halloween Kills with me, right? Private watch along. We're going to be having a lot of fun. If we sold 100 at $50 Canadian, which is what it is, it's again only about $36 for you guys in the States. That's $5,000. $5,000 in a campaign that's just trying to reach 20 to get into in demand is massive. $5,000 in a campaign that's trying to reach 120,000. That's great. That's amazing, but not quite as massive, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, think about that. $36 from Bob, $36 from Jim, $36 from Frank, $36 from this person, $36 from that. It starts to add up, right? You know what I'm saying? And again, even if you're busy Halloween night, you will have the link. You can watch it later that night. You can watch it on replay. You can watch it the next day. You can watch it the next year. You will have it. It will remain on my channel. It just will remain private. Or unlisted, I guess I should say. Or private, however I decide to do it. But yeah, so just always remember that. If you're somebody that thinks I'm not going to be able to make a difference, because you get that too. There's a psychology and a sociology. There's a sociological and psychological effect when it comes to certain people. They're like, what difference could I make? Like, really, what difference could my $30 make? Well, your $30 times 100 people makes a massive difference. Everybody can make a difference. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying, folks. That's all I'm saying. Compared to Billy, what's your budget in comparison? Expecting to use some professional cameras? Oh, of course, Chris. So again, I don't know what the budget's going to be, right? But as I said, I did a prelim. That's the reason why. That's part of the reason why I'm raising funds for development, is so I can hire a line producer so we can go through the script and figure that out. I did a preliminary breakdown 3 months ago. I'm no expert in it, but I'm pretty good. And I did a preliminary. It's probably going to cost me about $2.53 million. But it might be a little more than that. It might be a little less than that, because a line producer, they're going to go through it, and they're professionals at this, and they're going to go through it and go, well, you know what? We actually can do it for 1.8. Or they might go, we're going to need about 4.5 here, 5 million. If we got 5 million, yeah, we're going to. That's the whole, and you want to have those actuals. You want to have that number so that when you go into meetings with production companies, studios, producers, investors, whatever the case is, you know how much it's going to cost. Because one of the first things they're going to say is, how much do you think this is going to cost? Because if we're going to give you the money, we want to know how much we're going to give you, right? Or how much we're going to spend and invest on this, right? And so you need to know that. You can't just go, I don't know. You can't do that. And right now it's more like, but that's the whole point of this, right? And so, yes, this is a professional, major feature film. This is not, home movie. This is not amateur. This is like the It's Me Billy films, but this is, a $3 million picture as opposed to a $200,000 picture. So it's totally pro, totally professional. This is where, it's an original psychological horror film. And I'm very excited about it. And because I'm finally stepping into a world where I am now wanting to do my first feature length horror film. And I'm excited about it. And so, some people have said, if that's what you guys can do with the Billy films on $200,000, what the hell could you do with $4 million? And it's like, well, I'd love to be able to show you. But first, we need money to develop the pitch package so it's in tip-top shape so that people will be excited to give us that, right? Or invest in it. I mean, investing may come from several places. It may not all come from one production company or one studio. There might be a few independent production companies or studios that come on board, right? Maybe it's, so-and-so films and such pictures and, and together they pitch in. So-and-so films, pitches in $500,000 and such pictures pitches in $500,000. And, that's usually how it kind of works on the indie level. It doesn't, a $3 or $4 million picture coming from one studio doesn't, it can happen. It can, but, it's not unprecedented for it not to work that way. So financing could come from many different areas. It may be financed here in Canada. It may be financed from the US. It may be a co-pro, which just means it is co-production. It's Canada, US financed. It may be a triple co-pro, UK, Canada, America, right? It may be that, or it may be completely financed from the UK. It may be a UK production. It may be shot in the UK. I don't know. It may be shot here. I don't know. Maybe shot in the US. I don't know. Maybe shot in, I don't think it would be shot in Australia because that's not really the climate for the film. But there's lots of places around the world where it could be shot. And so, yes, this is totally 100% professional. I'm going all out, and so, like the Billy films, but with a $3.5-4 million budget ballpark. But I need a line producer to tell me if I'm on point or if I'm off in either direction. Right. And that's important. It's so important. And so again, I know it's not as sexy as I've been saying. I'm asking you to believe in a vision and my dream, but there's proven trust here as well. There's proven trust. I haven't let you guys down. Now, I can't guarantee you're going to like the movie. I can't do that. But in terms of delivering what we promised, I haven't let you down, right? You look at the Billy films, we delivered it, and we delivered at a very high level, studio quality, professional production, right? On the indie fan film level. We delivered that. And that was one of the things we promised. Whether you like the movies or not, I hope you did. If you didn't, I'm sorry. But I can't guarantee it. But I can guarantee that, that same level of professionalism and hard work is being implemented and currently put into this project now as well. And so it's very exciting. It's very exciting. And depending on where it goes and who gets excited about it and who picks it up, it might end up being a movie you get to see in the theater or watch on Prime. All of a sudden, you're like, holy shit, The House on Port Robinson Road is available to rent on Prime. Isn't that fucking cool? And I helped with the development of that fucking movie. How cool is that? I helped develop that movie. You did? What do you mean you helped develop that movie? I donated to the first fucking Indiegogo campaign for the development. I helped get that movie off the fucking ground. And it's true. It's true. You donate to this It's true. That's not hyperbole. That's not just to make you feel good. No, that's actually true. That's literally true. I mean, there's no ways. It's true. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. What's the time here? All right, we'll go a few more minutes. Did I miss any super chats, any member chats? I don't know if I have. I just want to see here. Josh McKenna was the last super chat. Okay. Right. Okay. And by the way, I will say this too. I forgot to say this earlier. Mendel Goodman, one of our great supporters here on the channel, Mendel Goodman, the other day bought 2 of the current 13, I guess, that are there. Bloodbath double feature perks, and I'm going to be giving those 2 away to somebody as well because he wants me to do that. So shout out to Mendel Goodman for being awesome. You're amazing. He picked up 2 of them. I mean, that's amazing, man. It's amazing, and he wants me to give them away. So I will do that at some point in the near future. And of course, it won't be to somebody who picks it up. Now you might be thinking, oh well, I just won't buy it one then. I'll just wait to see if I get it. Hey. If I end up picking you and you've already picked one, you can always refund it, right? I'm just saying, you can always do that. Oh, I won and I get to go for free, but I already picked up one. Well, maybe you can gift it to somebody else or you can go and refund it and, as well. Although let's not try to get into the habit of doing that either. Just random refunding, I mean. Let me see here. Evil says, I assume the story happened in Canada. Does the script says a location? It's elusive on purpose to give freedom to shoot anywhere. It did take place in Canada. I went to college here. It could be shot here. It could be absolutely shot here, 100%. It could be shot in the States, not in like the desert, not in Phoenix or California, but it could be shot, in the Northeast, the Midwest, because that's the environment, right? Like the movie takes place in November 2000, and it takes place in, a climate where it's fall and the cool, crisp breeze and the leaves. And, so it has to be in a part of the world where you experience that. And there's many places around the world where you experience that. You experience that anywhere in Canada. You experience that in the Midwest and the Northeast of the U.S. You experience that in the Northwest, I think, too, in the States, Washington, Seattle. You experience it in the UK, Germany. I mean, anywhere in Europe, I would think. Not anywhere, but, there are some countries where you would experience that. So there's other places around the world where, yeah, you could totally shoot it, 100%. But there's a lot of places where it wouldn't make sense either. And there's a lot of places where it would not make sense. Let me see here. All right. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes left in the show, folks. 2 more minutes left in the show. What's your budget in comparison? Expecting to use this? Oh yeah, I already read that. It's a much larger endeavor. This is not a film that'll be shot over a week. This is likely a 6-week shoot kind of thing. With a big crew, full on cast, full crew. Folks, again, this is one of the reasons why I need a line producer. I don't know, but it's likely I will have to rebuild the house, right? And to do that, I did a preliminary on that. That could cost me $400,000 or $500,000, right? And that's just the building of the house. And so, this is a real, not that the Billy films were not real movies. Of course they were real films. But this is a much larger endeavor, a much different beast than that. And so, that's why you need development money, because you need to be able to, make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row and your I's are all dotted and your T's are all crossed. Tyler Adams says, California, it's a tall state. It has everything. It does, but there is a difference. I've been to many parts of California, and maybe it's because I'm Canadian, feels different. It feels different. I mean, again, that's part of movie magic, but I would rather shoot in a part of the country where it really is fall. I mean, you get that Midwest Canada kind of fall, not California fall. But northern California is a bit better than Southern. Yes, I get what you're saying, but it's still not, it's just not the same. It's not the same. All right, folks, listen, that's going to do it for me here on this episode of McRae Live. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to the Super Chats. Thank you to the Member Chats. Folks, do not forget to go over to the campaign and pick up a perk or donate. Every little bit helps. I really appreciate it. We're at 25% now. I'd like to get to 30% by Sunday, maybe 31% or 32% by next Tuesday. That's a week in. Showing that momentum. We need that momentum to keep it going. It helps the algorithms on the Indiegogo pages as well. It helps more people find and discover our campaign too. So, but for those of you that have donated already, thank you so much for doing so. It means the world to me. It means a lot. It sincerely does. And one day you're going to look back and be like, I got in on that. That's pretty fucking cool. That's pretty fucking cool. Folks, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on anything I had to say here today, but more specifically about Halloween 6, celebrating 30 years this year. Halloween 6, 30 years this year. Did you see it? What's the first time? Your first experience with the movie? Do you prefer the theatrical cut or the producer's cut? Let me know. Jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts down below. That's going to do it for me, folks. Have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you all very, very, very soon. Alrighty. In the meantime, in the between time, I will talk to you soon. Cheers. I just had to come back because I saw Sweet Tea say, refresh, Dave. I see it there. We've gone up. We've gone up again. Amazing. Thank you so much. Let me just give a little shout out. And by the way, these are not the social media shout outs that I promise on the campaign. I will give people proper social media shout outs. Let me just see here. We've got another one going hard into the paint. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Teresa. Amazing. Let me just see. Hang on a sec here. Let me just see here. We've gone up. I see. Did you pick up 1 or 2? Did you pick up 1 or 2, Teresa? By the way, Sweet Tea. The tea is sweet tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Did you pick up 1 or 2? 1 or 2? Because I'm seeing 2 from you, and I just want to make sure that it hasn't hit the campaign yet. Maybe you picked up 1. And 1 for somebody else, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know if Sweet Tea is still in the chat. Maybe she is. Dalton Barron says, how long are you expecting to shoot? I don't know. That's another reason to hire a line producer, folks. I anticipate a 5 to 6 week shoot, but a line producer will be able to tell me more about that. And that's part of the reason why I have to hire one. I mean, I know some line producers, but I want to be able to hire them because they're professionals, right? You know what I mean? And some of them, I mean, they aren't cheap, folks. I don't see Sweet Tea's not, I guess she must have checked out. Oh, that's too bad. Well, I will get in touch with her and figure that out. I see 2 that have been, maybe 1 just hasn't hit yet. That's possible. Anyways, I'll figure it out at some point. Folks, amazing. Thank you so much. Again, have a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. All right. Oh, hey, and don't forget, campaign. We can do it. Let's do it together, bitches. All righty. Cheers.